with show number 2. Is this number 2 today?
It is.
PK, Denise, Duran, say what's up.
Hey.
In the corner, you can't see him. He's hidden. Jeffrey's here.
I see a hand.
What's up, man?
I want to do a mic drop, but I don't want to break the stuff.
Yeah, I gotta pay for the mic, so let's not do that.
We'll
And the reason we're back, AJ Smith.
What's up?
What's up, man? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
When Jeff, you put all this together, will you give everybody a rundown of how this happened?
First, it's not Fireball Friday, so I don't know what I'm doing here. But so AJ Smith, if you have not listened to a single thing, and I pimp it out the best I can when I can, because when we met you, one of the things that we had in common was we all love music, right? Like we all love music. We go to like over 100 plus shows a year. And we were so fortunate to randomly have Sir AJ over here grace us with his presence with his boy Drew on a random fall windy day in November, right? So he was doing like Fox 5 Atlanta. Mm-hmm. We have a friend, Lori, who works there. And she's like, yo, man, this guy like came on. I don't even know. You seemed very pleasant at like 6 a.m, which is rare in and of itself. Anyone who's done morning radio. And is like, yo, this guy was great, super nice. Like, do you want to go see him? And we'll never turn down a good time or live music, right? So he was playing Eddie's Attic. Anyone from the ATL watching this, you've been to Eddie's. You know how beautiful the room is. So we went there, man, and just mind blown, right? Mind blown, AJ? Yeah, man.
That was a fun concert.
I mean, like, honestly, like, this guy's so good. And
we're gonna get to some of that. We're gonna see some of that because we're gonna get a song or two. Is that the plan? I can't wait.
I got you. I brought the guitar in just for you.
So I don't know. I'm sure you've had this happen to you because who hasn't? But like when your friends recommend somebody that you haven't heard of, and you're like, oh, I don't know your track record and stuff. You've been, and I've said this on the show. One of the only recommendations to where it wasn't even just the song was awesome, but then just going down. Denise and I were married, so when we came back from Atlanta to Houston, we started going down the catalog, and it was like
banger after banger. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very so rare to skip, to not skip songs. But I'm like, is that still AJ? Like it's, dude. So let me start at the beginning of like, how long have you been doing this?
I mean, I've been playing piano since I was like 3. My godmother was a piano teacher and everything, and then I picked up violin. My first band I ever played in was actually I was a fiddler in a bluegrass band.
Fiddler?
Really?
Yeah. Now doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been at it for a while if you count all of that. And I drew my first album cover when I was like 8 years old. I think I've always wanted to do this. It's just it took me time to figure out how.
How did you, there's so many people, I'm sure, watching or listening that are probably there now or they can't figure out. Like, how did you make it? How'd you make it a thing?
I think the big thing was I stopped thinking so much about how to do it and I just started doing it.
Yeah.
And like I figure I'm going to learn more by trying than I am by plotting. And, you can still be strategic along the way, but actually just one foot in front of another, do the next right step, just start putting your music out. My songs weren't doing me any good sitting on my hard drive. I had to start putting them out.
How many songs do you still have on a hard drive that you haven't put out? Not many.
200.
How do you know when to put a song out?
Well, now it's sort of like a gut feeling. It's I mean, a little bit of it is, they talk about, for those that aren't familiar, Spotify algorithm, right? You probably heard those two words together. And basically that means that now with Spotify, Apple Music, all of these driving whether or not artists get engaged with new listeners and new fans through the digital streaming platforms. Like, it means that you have to play by the algorithm's rules. And so Spotify likes to see artists release consistently every 4 to 6 weeks. And so they want singles. They don't want albums so much anymore. They want singles, which means that you basically write an entire album of singles and you drop them all. And so, I've been releasing
Dude, that
songs
makes me mad. Just listening to that makes me mad because as an artist, I'm sure that's not, that's nothing like, how many times have we heard of somebody that worked on something for years and it just, Ryan Tedder just had a story about that. That he had I think it was West Coast, just for years it didn't sound right. And then he finally, these are your babies.
Yeah.
So to have one out every 4 to 6 weeks.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And it's putting pressure on the songs to like reveal themselves to you sooner. And so then, for me, it's like, okay, well, I just try. I don't know. I go through these phases where I just end up writing and recording a ton, and then I'm like, I need to go out and go on tour and stuff. And so like I've got several songs now that are done and ready to go. But now I'm like not even. I don't even want to release one of those next. I want to release something else. So now I need to go and finish it.
Yeah.
And like get it done. So I'm like,
And at the same time, like you're on a tour right now.
Yeah,
So
I'm on tour right
how's
now.
that going?
Oh, tour's awesome.
Yeah.
We just played House of Blues in Dallas last night. The Aztec Theater in San Antonio, like 2 nights ago. That was amazing. South by Southwest in Austin.
Yeah.
And we're playing House of Blues down here in Houston tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
What's been, and then we're going to get to a song, but what's been so far, and I'm saying the entire career, most memorable show you've ever done? And it doesn't even have to be because you were excellent. It could be because just some crazy shit out of left field happened. Like, what's something that...
I think it was actually... It's a toss-up between when I was opening for the Eagles, just because that was my first time ever playing on like a big stage like that. And that was opening for the Eagles at the Beacon Theater in New York City.
Oh
so
my
like
God.
historic as hell, right?
Yeah.
Or when I opened for Lindsay, I mean, these shows have been phenomenal, but when I opened for Lindsay Sterling, and that was to
Love
like a
her.
crowd of 3,000 people, which is the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. I mean, I don't know how many people were at the South by Southwest show the other day, to be honest with you, but like that show was like packed, and that was the first time that I heard a crowd of strangers who had never heard my music besides like my mom and dad sing my lyrics back to me like on the second chorus of a song.
Yeah, that has to feel like incredible.
Oh, best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the very first time you heard your song somewhere you didn't expect to hear it? Whether it,
Ooh.
could be the radio, could be, I mean, nowadays, it could be anywhere.
It's funny. I haven't really had that happen to me yet because it's happened to friends where they will text me and they'll take like a video and send it to me. Be like, hey, I was at Starbucks and I heard your song come on. And I'm like, oh, cool. Or like I was listening to the radio and your song came on. I'm like, oh, cool. I haven't caught that yet.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's happening, and usually if it's a one-off, my team like lets me know that it's happening, and then I'll like tune in, and it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
But the surprise things, I just haven't been surprised yet. Yeah.
Hey, I've always wondered, when like, celebrities, the big time people like yourself say team, what the hell does that mean?
Who's in your
Who's
team?
in the team?
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I'm not quite that big celebrity just yet, So I've got a small team. But I do have a really great team. On the road, it starts with Drew, who's here with me, my drummer, / helping me with everything, keeping me sane.
How'd you guys meet? How'd you become part of the team?
A buddy of mine, Zach Green, over at the time he was at CSAC, and Drew and I are both writers at CSAC. And I don't know, Drew, you could share your version of it.
Well, actually, I don't think I've ever told you. So you
Hold on.
posted.
Do me a favor, go right into that mic.
Sorry.
There you go.
Oh yeah. that's
Cool.
it.
So I actually haven't told you this before. So you posted on Facebook about that show where you needed a drummer,
Yeah.
and I saw the post, and I checked out the music, and I remember thinking like this is too professional for me. Like I'm not like used to playing music like this, and I was like slightly intimidated by it, and so I didn't reach out. And then you texted me because Zach gave you my number, and I was like, okay, it's meant to be.
What?
That actually happened.
Dude.
Yeah.
Why were you self-sabotaging?
I don't know.
You're freaking
I'm glad
great.
I didn't. But yeah, that was
That's what I try to tell people about his music, and that's what I when I kicked off the interview that I was saying. It's you hear a song and it's a banger, sure, but then to hear other songs and they're all so well put together, and on top of that, the messages behind them, Grammy, and you know what I mean, like they're telling a story, and they're also it's you're so polished. I mean, to me, that's insane. That I'm looking at your Instagram, like you're just way polished to be where you're at right now. You're on the verge of really blowing up.
Thank you. I hope so. It's been a long time coming, as they'll say, as the zombies will say at the show tonight. This will be our year. It took a long time to come.
How does that come about?
At
Like
the
how
collaboration.
how does the collaboration?
Yeah,
work?
so I guess that kind of goes back to the team. So the people on my team, I've got my management team, I've got my attorney, I've got my publicist, and right now we're working on getting a booking agent as the next member of the team. And then I have my distributor. Now, labels will kind of fill in the distribution role and marketing. They'll act like your CMO/investor and that kind of thing. But, the label model is shifting. But on the management side, my management also manages the Zombies. Now, they've managed them the entire time that they've managed me, and this has not happened until now, right? And that's because, in order to bring one of their smaller artists to one of their bigger artists, they need to make sure that there's the right things in place, that the traction is there, and that it's going to work out. So it's not like if somebody's thinking, oh, it's because such and such knows each other. Well, yeah, that's of course why things happen. That's how anything happens in this industry. But it's also all of the other things that happen, and it's very clear when it's just a favor. You can tell that right away, right? When somebody hops up on stage and they haven't played 1,000 shows before, like we have, So there is very much that difference, and so I've had to be really patient and bide my time and keep polishing my craft, and so then that's how this happened, and then I'm going on tour with a band called Ripe, and that came about because. Mutual friends of my management and a friend of hers who has a bunch of friends who are booking agents heard one of my songs and then saw that she was my manager and reached out and was like, oh my gosh, I just listened to one of his songs, and then I clicked into the rest of the catalog just like you're saying, and and loved every single song and and watched my music videos, and I'm not tooting my own horn. This is somebody else saying this was like this guy feels like he's the next big thing. Why doesn't he have a booking agent? And so when I heard that, I'm like, I don't know. Why?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Jump on the team. Let's go.
So he was like, I'm going to send this to a bunch of booking agents. So he sent it around, and this one guy, I think Jason, I actually haven't met him yet, but he's Ripe's booking agent, was like, you know what? Let's put you on tour for the first leg of Ripe's tour and see how this goes. Are you interested in something more long term? And so we're dating right now, as they say.
Is there a specific amount of time that you want to be on tour and then go back to because you were saying earlier that if you got to release a song as often as Spotify wants you to, you got to
be in the studio.
Yeah. How do you do that? How do you balance that out?
Well, since this is my first time that I'm touring, that I have the potential to make money. But I say potential because it all depends on how much merch I sell.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, touring is expensive. It's the hardest investment when it comes to the music side of things to actually maybe get your money back. So I want to be on tour as long as the opportunities are still fulfilling me to the point where I'm not going broke paying my rent back in Nashville. And paying for my music releases, because I produce all of my own stuff, but I gotta get things mixed and mastered, and I want a marketing budget behind it. Nothing crazy, but it's not like it's free to release music and to try to blow it up and try to be your own record label. It does cost money, so I have to kind of balance all of that, and I've got Google Sheets and so
But you're the person. This is stuff that nobody really talks about.
Exactly.
You're the person out there on that daily grind to try to make this happen,
Yeah. I mean, I go and I work my own merch booth. My fiance's on tour with us right now to help because I couldn't afford a third person. So you got to bring the people in your life to help you out. And she's been rocking the merch table. She's been my merch girl, which has been amazing. I go out there to help. It's really a team effort. Drew helps load in not just his drums. He helps load in all of the stuff. It takes a village.
You're going to think about these days. There's going to come a time in your life that you're going to be like, oh, my God, remember those days? And they were so awesome. Everybody that's gotten to that next level has always said that. Man, I remember those days. We're driving across country and we're.
Yeah, and that's what I always try to remind myself whenever. I mean, I've been just living it and loving it, right? But there are, of course, those times when you load in and this hasn't happened on this tour yet, but the sound guy's a jerk, or the venue is the management at the venue's kind of treating you like crap, and then you're like, what am I even here for, right?
Yeah.
And then I try to remind myself, hey, you know what? We are making potentially history when it comes to my career right now and our lives and our careers. And Drew has written several songs with me. He wrote "We All Want Love" with me, which just came out. He wrote "We're All Gonna Die" with me, which just crossed 2.5 million streams on
Banger.
Spotify.
Congratulations, my
Banger.
Charted at radio this year.
Yes.
So this
So
is
you
this
didn't
is a
take all
really
the credit, huh?
cool.
I didn't know how that worked.
I
If
don't
had
take
like a band, I would
it
take all the credits.
I mean, I get the credit as the artist, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding around.
So you
but
got to
yeah.
shout out the people that helped you make it. Otherwise, they're not going to want to keep making stuff with you.
Which song are you gonna do? Which one do you wanna do?
I feel like I should do the new one.
Okay.
It just dropped on Friday.
I was gonna say that before you do it, because you both wrote it together. You were saying.
Yeah, with our friend Jason.
How did it come about? And feel free to jump in. And was there any points that you were just like, oh, I don't know what this next part's gonna be? Was it more fluid? What's the story behind it?
What's your recollection of what that day was like?
Well, I remember we were talking about wanting to write like a bouncy anthemic, like we wanted that kind of groove.
Yeah.
And I think it just started with a bass line. I think he just picked up a bass and just started kind of, plucking along.
Was it this one though that we were like, let's do a boom, but it's gonna be like an attitude song, like a vengeance kind of, like screw you, I'm the shit kind of. Wait, can I curse?
Yeah, like it was gonna like we had a totally
In the
different
future,
idea.
though, when you're doing radio interviews, you might want to ask before.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
What? Yes. So
Rewind.
So you wanted something like in
yeah,
your
I wanted
face
something like
kind of
that, and
attitude.
and I think we even wrote like a full verse and chorus that way, and like, I don't know, I feel sometimes I feel guilty because like Jason and Drew are such good sports, and they let me go down a path that then I end up being like, you know what, guys, I don't like this. Like,
you have to go down those paths
You
though, to
know?
make that jam, because there's so often I'm listening to music, I'm like, how the hell did they come up with that or that sound or that lyric? Or like if you don't have that comfort support system to be able to veer off, you're never gonna get to that magic,
yeah.
you know?
No, the flexibility is key, and that support system is key. And I think where then it went was like I wasn't feeling like what we were writing lyrically or thematically. Like maybe it just didn't feel right to me because I'm not that attitude in your face kind of person. That's just not me. And I was like, you know what could we write about? Like how when we're all gonna die, like that connected with people because it's a universal human truth. What are some of the other universal human truths? So we kind of hit pause. We still really liked that. And then that's when we got talking about like we all want love. And so we were like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's be like hopeful with this song. We're all gonna die is sort of hopeful and dark.
Yeah.
Right. But like let's actually just, and this one's actually, I'm still not sure if We All Want Love is actually a happy song or not, to be honest with you. But it sounds happy and it sounds full of hope. And it's I'm really happy with where we went with it.
But I think that's what makes it so awesome is the fact that you don't know, that it doesn't answer those questions right away.
Or maybe it's like personally, like it does for me. It
Yeah.
makes me feel a certain way. For Brian, might be a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick. Have you ever, both of you, had a song that came from a dream? You woke up and you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa, really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually, the song, like, it was, I mean, this is like an old project, but it was so vivid. I titled the song The Dream.
Oh,
Because it was like, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Because I remember,
Was it good?
I thought it was awesome. Because I was reading in like songwriting for dummies. I think it was John Lennon. There was some song that came to him in a dream, and I remember thinking, like, I wish that would happen to me. And not long after that, it did.
You manifested it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this. I'm
Yeah, let's
excited.
do it.
One more random question.
Oh, all right.
AJ, since you have a beautiful voice and you know how to play the guitar.
You know he's not leaving right after the song.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just, like, if I had your musical talents, I'll be at the beach with the friends, nightfall, campfire, s'mores, with the guitar singing. Have you done that?
I have, but I also try not to be like the guitar guy at the party.
You have to, bro. That's your profession.
The Wonderwall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's. I mean, first of all, I love music so much. Like my favorite birthday party that I think I've ever had. We just had friends over at my house because I have a Christmas birthday. I'm December 21st.
Oh man.
So we just had a bunch of friends over at the house. We cooked a whole bunch of food, and then we just had a sing along of like Christmas carols and like other types of songs and stuff. And like that was I just sat on the piano. Other musician friends went and grabbed other instruments from my house. Like my friend Douglas was playing the violin. Like we had Zach on guitar. Like it was just It was so fun. And then all trading who was singing. Like that to me is way better than karaoke.
Can you imagine? We need some music friends. You know what I mean?
I know.
We can't pull that
talent?
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
with talent.
no.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, we got Jeff.
He plays the drums.
Yeah, we could do some Christmas at your house. All right, here we go. Full disclosure, I don't think we've ever had anybody perform in this studio that we got through together. So we'll see what happens, and I'm so thankful to have you here. And this is, which one you going to do?
We all want love.
All right, here we go.
All right, you getting guitar? There we go. We all want love. We all want love. To the lonely hearts at the bar across the street, and the city boys you meet, I hope they treat you sweet. To the prom queen throwing roses in the trash, don't you take them back, cause you're better than I. We're all just hopeless humans, blame it on biology, but still we carry on cause we believe that we all want love, even if it hurts, the alternative is worse. Yeah, we all want love, even if it kills, it's the only thing that's real. We all want love. To the bride who found out on her wedding day that her husband ran away, I hope that you're okay. To the kid whose parents kicked him out the house for just being themselves, I promise it works out. Yeah, we all want love, even if it hurts, the alternative is worse. Yeah, we all want love, even if it kills, it's the only thing that's real. Yeah, we all want love. 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 Now this is the part in the show where I go like, what do we want? And the audience then hopefully will come along and sing along really big and loud as we go like, we all want love. 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 Even if it hurts, the alternative is worse. Yeah, we all want love. Even if it kills, it's the only thing that's real. We all want love. Thank you.
Dude.
I say hopeful. I love it. Yeah, that's great. Oh, sorry. Here's the Ryan. I'm so excited.
No, this is just like a personal question
Yes.
that I probably have to whisper
Personal answer.
because your fiance is like outside the door. But I'm just saying, is it because you're a very handsome guy with nice physique and everything, and with a voice? Does she get like? Is it? Does she get jealous, or is it okay?
You saw her. She's stunning.
You're right.
What are you
I'm
talking about?
No. Yes, all in
I'm
the world.
not the
is
pretty
good.
one in the relationship.
Good point. But good answer.
How long have y'all been together?
6.5 years.
Okay, I was gonna ask what if you had to be like, hey, it's do you have to run the tour dates by her, like where you're going? Like it can't be easy just to drop everything and you guys are just on tour.
Well, we're both creatives. She's an actress. She was just in Phoenix for 3 months herself. So our careers and like we just kind of had to change. We're kind of putting a pause on some wedding plans as we figure, just because of the career stuff that's happening and everything like that, and because we're both at really pivotal moments in our careers where that has to come first. So we'll figure out the rest of life after we figure out this moment of life. And like I want her to achieve all of her dreams. And she wants me to do the same. So we don't. I mean, of course we talk to each other, but like hey, this is probably happening. Okay, that's really exciting. We'll figure it out. So that's kind of how
do y'all do the long distance thing?
Well, we started long distance.
Okay.
So we're used to it.
Okay. Nice. When you get something done and you're like, I think I got it. Is she the first person you run it by?
Yeah.
And has
Yeah.
she ever
No,
given you feedback that you were just like, I
don't-
disagree?
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, that comes with the territory. Because, like, when it's the person, I mean, whether it's your partner or, I mean, you know, your partner's going to be different than your parent, right? Because your parent is going to be proud of you for everything no matter what. But, like, because you're their kid, they may not see the flaw, right? But your partner has the capability, or, you know, your manager or your best friend or something like that. Hopefully they have the capability of being completely honest with you, because otherwise, I mean, I don't want yes men around me.
Yeah.
I want like that honest feedback. And so, you know, that also means that what I'm sharing with her and with the people in my life that are closest to me, I'm sharing the unedited raw ideas of something that may not be fully formed yet. And so I'm asking for a little bit of trust to, like, hey, listen to the potential, or can you see the potential? And let me know if I'm going on the right path. And I need to know before I go and pour 40 more hours into something if it's not resonating or not connecting, you know?
Is it hard because, you know, you're doing songs that I'm sure you want like meaning behind? You're putting a lot of your emotions, and I'm sure some songs are more personal than others. And is it difficult to let somebody, you know, so close to you hear your inner thoughts that you've written down?
It can be. I think because, you know, especially in the arts, we can be our own worst critics, and I can deal with the YouTube haters and the TikTok comments from users 72456 right?
Yeah.
That doesn't faze me. But yeah, I mean, you know, if the person that you love hates something that you did, sometimes it's hard not to take that personally. But you have to remember not to, because at the end of the day, the art isn't the person, the art isn't the artist. The art is an expression of the artist. And it sometimes, you know, shit is the best fertilizer. But like in the moment when you're creating, it's like building IKEA furniture. You think it's the best thing that's ever been done. And you're proud of it because you did it with your own hands. So, you know, and I'm not going to lie. I put some great IKEA furniture together. But, you know, like, I don't know. I guess the truth is, you know, like, I think when things get taken the most personally, or when they hurt the most, is when it's a narrative that I've already kind of told myself, which sometimes means that that's when it's the most true. And like, that's when I need to maybe take a step back and be like, oh, why am I getting defensive? Now, if I don't believe that at all, somebody can say something to me and I can be like, okay, well, that's just an opinion, you know, maybe one that I'll take into consideration and I'll think about, but you know, it's not going to faze me if I don't actually believe that it's true.
Wow. Well said. Before we do, we're all going to die, because you were just talking about comments and people crapping on you. And this is the exact opposite. And I don't have it right in front of me, but I was going through the comments, and a lot of people were saying the same thing, which is the song's amazing. And then also the video is like a film. And it just ties everything together to be awesome. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. That's what I'm saying. YouTube, we're going to put all these links up online at pkndk.com. See it yourself if you're in Houston tonight.
Tonight, House of Blues.
This is going to be awesome. When are you, and then you're going to New Orleans and then Atlanta, or where are you?
New Orleans, then Atlanta, then I make a pit stop in Nashville, and then I go back on tour with Ripe.
Back on tour. Yeah, because then you'll be back in Atlanta.
I'm coming back through Texas and going back to Atlanta. And yeah.
All right, so see him is what I'm saying. Go see him. But right now, we're all going to die?
Yeah, let's do We're All Gonna Die. Then I got to go to sound check.
Yeah.
All right. I do not play this on guitar. I usually play this on the piano, so I got to think about how this goes. Oh, boy.
Piano, Pika.
Yeah, you got your keyboard downstairs.
Okay.
Bless him.
All right, cool. Let me get a pick out of my. Hey, this is that raw, unedited stuff I was talking about, right?
This is the best stuff, though, you know?
Uh-oh. Does anybody have a pick?
PK, do you got one?
How the hell would I have
you
a
had
pick?
one from Tears for Fears.
Oh, my Tears for Fears pick is, I don't know where that
I got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Crisis averted. Crisis averted.
Are you bagging on me because I have a Tears for Fears?
No.
So effing tired of just surviving all the time. I wanna scream tonight. I'm alive, I'm alive. God, I'm so bored, 'cause every day's been done before. How do we get stuck inside this life? I want more, I want more. It's like 9 to 5, it's 5 to 9, but now you're working overtime 24/7 on your own. Can't even got to take a breath, you're hanging on, there's nothing left. I'm thinking now's the time to go. We're all gonna die, we just don't know. Well, let's make the most of the time that we got left. World's on fire, let's toast the end. 'Cause we're all gonna die, we just don't know it.
I almost yelled out, when?
Doc says I'm stressed, gives me drugs to hurt me less. My generation's all depressed. We're a mess, we're a mess. Oh, can be controlled. No, it shouldn't be surprising that we're living like we're dying. Oh, can't take no more. We're seeing all the signs that we're running out of time. We're all gonna die, we just don't know. Well, let's make the most of the time that we got left. World's on fire, let's toast the end. 'Cause we're all gonna die, we just don't know when. Alright, alright, we're all gonna die. We're alright, it's alright. We're all gonna die. And then this is the part where I get the audience to sing along again. You know, a little call and response. But we go, we're all gonna die, we just don't know it. All gonna die, we just don't know when. Let's make the most of the time that we got left. Let's make the time that we got left. We're all gonna die, we just don't know it. We're all gonna die, we just don't know when. We're all gonna die, we just don't know when. We're all gonna die, we just don't know, yeah. All gonna die, we just don't know. And let's make the most of the time that we got left. World's on fire, let's toast the end. 'Cause we're all gonna die, we just don't know when.
AJ Smith. Don't be an idiot. Go see him. Check out the YouTube's, Instagram. Is it all AJ Smith music?
AJ Smith music. I try to be consistent, you know.
Dude, you
Easy to
accomplished
find.
that. From the music being awesome to the consistency on socials and everything, man. Really appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us and opening up. And I feel like I could talk to you for hours. So appreciate it. But I want to keep you because tonight, House of Blues in Houston.
House of Blues, let's go.
All right.
We'll see you guys
I'll see
there.
you there.
And then that's it. See you guys.
Y'all rock.
Thanks, guys.
Woo.